And this section we'll start off with is love as a protective force. So I'll read for the next 30 minutes, and hopefully this reading can give you some clarity and also add a couple nuggets to your life. Golden and valuable nuggets. In the course of your duties as a leader, you constantly face pitfalls and dangers. To ensure your success, you can learn to protect yourself against the onslaughts of negative thoughts and actions. Not only is it important for you to think and act in a dynamic, positive way, but you should also be conscious of potentially harmful people and situations in order to avoid their invasive negative energy. Your most powerful shield of protection in these circumstances will be your strong sense of love and compassion. Throughout the world, at every moment, a struggle is taking place between higher and lower forces. One arena for this struggle can be found in the human mind. People are unwitting receptacles for thoughts and desires of others, whose energy they often internalize. These thoughts are like electrical currents. A person may not see them, but they can feel them and experience their effects. Such thoughts can affect the quality of your leadership. Because you are in a prominent position, many people will focus their thoughts and energies on you. Some will use you as a scapegoat for their own disturbances, and others will regard you with envy. Still, others will simply want to test you. Without sufficient love from within, you will lack the necessary armor to protect yourself from such relentless attacks of negative energy. However, stronger inner love will allow you to deflect such harmful energy, or even transmute it so that it has no destructive effects. Therefore, always remember to put up a shield of love for your protection. Keep in mind that in order to love others, you need to love yourself first. At the same time, you should remember that you are called to love your neighbor as well. All of the major religions of the world emphasize this point. Brahmanism, do not do unto others that which will cause you pain if done to yourself. Buddhism, hurt no others in ways that you yourself would possibly find hurtful. Christianity, do unto others as you would have them do to you. Islam, not one of you is a true believer until he desires for his brother that which he desires for himself. Judaism, whatever is hateful to you, do not do to your fellow man. Zoroastrianism, that nature alone is good, which refrains from doing unto others anything that is not good for itself. Taoism, always regard your neighbor's gain as your gain, and your neighbor's loss as your loss. Although the mandate to love one's neighbor as oneself is universal, few people are able to follow it. In fact, it is rare to find anyone who even makes the attempt. However, as a leader, you can rise above common moral limitations. Indeed, merely to love your neighbor as yourself is not sufficient. Actually, you can learn to love those for whom you are responsible, even more than you love yourself. In your leadership role, see yourself as a caretaker to those around you rather than the proprietor, acting as you would if entrusted with a precious treasure. This approach encourages you to perceive the goodness in every person and see yourself as an emissary of the divine in charge of nurturing the God essence in others. Serving God in this way is one of the highest possible manifestations of love. The return to the analogy of mother and child mentioned earlier. The love between them is very deep because it is pure. The mother does more than just love her child as she loves herself. She sees that child as helpless, knowing that were it not for her, the child might go hungry or even die. In other words, the mother thinks, my child's life depends on me. Therefore, she brings a tremendous degree of care, respect, and attention to the relationship. Just as the mother goes more than halfway to assure the well-being of the child, you can extend a similar level of love in order to succeed in your mission as a leader. You are a caretaker whose responsibility is to promote the peaceful, harmonious well-being of everyone. In the material world, this level of love is known as maternal or paternal love, and it is one of the highest degrees of love that human beings can express towards God. Often people think of God as being a being to hold in awe, fear, and reverence. However, this is a elementary perception. There are many other types of possible relationships with God. A person whose love grows deeper recognizes the potential for loving God not only as the creator, but also as a friend or as a child. Although the relationship of friendship is very profound because two persons of equal status love each other, the maternal and paternal bond is even greater because the caretaker acts for the benefit of the other who is more helpless. In this high level of God consciousness, a person can actually serve God by playing a particular role of father and mother, with God as the child. Such love is so deep that it makes the utmost effort to offer protection and care with great attention and dedication. If you seek to invoke the highest blessings for yourself as a leader, you should learn to appreciate this level of love. Empowerment as a representative of divinity. The function of a leader is to act as representative of God. In ancient times, some kings had the ability to be a channel for the spiritual realms. As a result, people had great love and reverence for these leaders, whom they rightfully saw as God's representatives on earth. Your role as a leader calls upon you to open your mind and heart to the possibility of being God's representative in order to become a true spiritual channel. A key factor in becoming such a channel is selflessness. When those for whom you're responsible for offer you devotion, dedication, and service, your role is to accept their offerings and to use them for the well-being of others on a larger scale, remembering constantly to give the fruits of these accomplishments to God. In other words, a leader can hold no claim to being the doer or the controller. By releasing such claims and attachments, you offer all your actions and possessions to the Supreme, who ultimately will reciprocate by giving even more back to you. As a spiritually conscious leader, you stand in the middle between the spiritual kingdom and earth. Whenever you increase your love, you become more available as an instrument capable of connecting those under your direction with the higher realms. In this intermediary position between the spiritual and the material worlds, you accept realizations and blessings from the higher dimension and you pass them on to others. At the same time, you accept service from your people and rechanneling the results back to the higher realms. In this way, you become an empowered being and a highly effective leader. Empowerment is everyone's right. How is it that some people can perform the most amazing, apparently superhuman feats as if they possess some special blessings? It is not that the blessing is unique. It is simply that these individuals make themselves available for it. Anyone who does not become a great servant offering love and compassion to all becomes a great hindrance. Therefore, whenever you act, remember that your activities are being monitored from a higher level. As you allow your compassion to grow, you will want to serve more and more. Willingness to serve others. Your willingness to serve brings empowerment and makes your service highly effective. Empowerment from the divine realm comes when you gladly offer all your expertise to help others. Then these divine transcendental connections will reciprocate by awarding you increased responsibilities. Make sure that's the right page. Okay. There is nothing unusual in this. A similar process occurs with those working in your office, administering your government, or helping you manage your corporation. As you notice, those who provide excellent service by giving fully of themselves, you arrange to give them more complicated, difficult tasks, promoting and rewarding them because you appreciate their dedication. Correspondingly, as you use what you have wisely, committing your leadership to the service of others, you will surely benefit. However, the converse is also true. If you do not properly use the resources and position that you have, then even if you temporarily live well, eventually you will be brought down by those you lead as they realize that you do not have their best interest at heart. This is an important fact to understand because inevitably some of your plans may prove ineffective and disappointing to others. Such mistakes become unbearable when people sense that the leader does not have their best interest at heart. However, if people understand that the leader has been attempting to help them in good faith, then such mistakes will not cause serious difficulties and may even increase their loyalty. One last caution about the simple yet complicated phenomena of love. You should constantly try to anticipate beforehand and review afterwards how each of your policies increases the love of those who you lead. Indeed, one of your main functions as a leader to express love and help others develop their experience of love. If you fail to understand the basic points in this chapter, you stand to lose position, prestige, cooperative association, your good health and your sanity, and perhaps even your life. Learn to love everyone dearly and allow this love for others to radiate through you as you let the energy of love vibrate around you. All who align themselves with you will contract this contagious, sublime state and spread it enthusiastically to others. And these are the chapter highlights. Frequently, what people call love is either sentimentality or the pursuit of carnal pleasures. This means that for many, what passes for love may actually be nothing other than self-centeredness or lust. Although human beings are constantly subjected to the pull between these two currents of love and self-gratifying lust, each individual has the freedom to choose between them. Number 2, activities that manifest mature love are performed in a spirit of truthfulness and knowledge. Although truth can be painful, sometimes the desire to attain a higher good will require leaders to face unpleasant realities and speak forcefully. Indeed, love is merely sentimental unless it is based on honesty. Number 3, the human race is actually spiritual and divine in nature, just like God. Although humans are limited in power while God is unlimited, in other words, people are the same as God in quality but different in quantity. Number 4, any thoughts, words, or actions that are directed towards a person's higher self will be far more beneficial and lasting than those that are not. Number 5, you cannot love others if you do not sufficiently love yourself, because it's impossible to give or share what you do not possess. Often, leadership is difficult because of personality problems and because of attachments to nationalism, racism, sexism, or tribalism. To address such issues successfully, you can learn to radiate a strong love that comes first from loving yourself by acknowledging the divinity that resides within you. Number 6, in your leadership role, see yourself as a caretaker of those around you rather than the proprietor, acting as you would if entrusted with a precious treasure. This approach encourages you to perceive the God essence in every person and see yourself as the emissary of the divine in charge of nurturing the God essence in others. Serving God in this way is one of the highest possible manifestations of love. Number 7, the function of a leader is to act as a representative of God. Your role as a leader calls upon you to open your mind and heart to this possibility of being God's representative in order to become a spiritual channel. A key factor in becoming such a channel is selflessness. Number 8, as a spiritually conscious leader, you stand in the middle between the spiritual kingdom and earth. Whenever you increase your love, you become more available as an instrument capable of connecting those under your direction with the higher realms. In this intermediary position between the spiritual and material worlds, you accept realizations and blessings from the higher dimensions and pass them on to others. At the same time, accepting service from your people and rechanneling the results back to the higher realms. In this way, you become an empowered being and a highly effective leader. Number 9, learn to love everyone dearly and allow this love for others to radiate through you. As you let your energy of love vibrate around you and you align and all who align themselves with you will contract this contagious sublime state and spread it enthusiastically to others. Number 10, constantly try to anticipate beforehand and review afterwards how each of your policies increases the love of those whom you lead. Indeed, one of your main functions as a leader is to express love and to help others develop their experience of love. Mindsets. Number 1, refer to the 10 essential technologies at the beginning of this book, working with numbers 7 and 8 in particular. Practice being the embodiment of love in all your interactions, and consider the actions of others as expressions of love or calls for help. Number 2, lust and love are two eternal forces, two currents of energy constantly swirling around us. Visualize yourself in the center of an ocean. If you swim to your left, you will be carried by a current of lust. If you swim to the right, you'll enter a current of love. Make your choice. Appreciate how this is analogous to your daily experiences, in which each moment you can choose which current to follow. Number 3, although love may be painful when it's experienced in the form of truthfulness and knowledge, remind yourselves that you will not deviate from acting with integrity, even if you're misunderstood. This reminder will serve to strengthen your resolve and reinforce the positive energy around you. Number 4, imagine scenarios of yourself succumbing to lust, which you may recall is misdirected love. Let these images serve as strong deterrent to prevent yourself from ever behaving in such a manner. Number 5, an exercise in loving yourself as a soul. Speak to your soul each day. Honor it, thank it, and because it is part of God, remember that if you do not love yourself with proper self-esteem, you cannot love others deeply. Number 6, you're a warrior. Visualize yourself attacking negative energy with your weapon of knowledge, your shield of compassion, and your armor of love. This is especially useful when negotiating with those of a different mindset, when you are being attacked by opponents, or when you feel that your efforts are misunderstood or unappreciated. Number 7, keep taking inventory of your thoughts, words, and actions to see if you love your neighbor as yourself even more than you love yourself. Be honest. To the extent that your thoughts are misaligned, focus on bringing them into accord with the power of love. Number 8, always see yourself as a caretaker of God's property, treating everything in your care with greater respect than you would if it were your own. Number 9, in ancient times, a leader was considered both the representative of God and an administrator whose beneficial actions increased people's love. See yourself as such a leader and practice constantly to maintain this level of consciousness. In your role as a representative of God, accept everything that is offered, passing everything to God without claiming proprietorship. Give God the credit for your achievements and express gratitude for your willingness to share your abundance with those in your charge. Number 10, see yourself as a vehicle for contagious love that spreads to others wherever you go. Everyone around you then becomes a carrier radiating the same selfless love still to others. Chapter 2, the source of true happiness. As a leader, you are in a better position than most to understand that life in this world can feel unnatural and unfulfilling. Many of those you are responsible for dream of attaining the goals that have become commonplace to you. They might be amazed to know that despite the fact that they have accomplished so much, there may still be a sense of unfulfillment in your life. That you have accomplished so much, there still may be a sense of unfulfillment in your life. A void within that leaves you with a lingering sense of disappointment or even sadness. Filling the void within. Many people believe that happiness is attainable simply by acquiring sufficient money, a fulfilling job, a right life partner, or a home in a desirable neighborhood. Often, they become frustrated in pursuit of such goals, experiencing dissatisfaction with themselves, their work, and their environment, and the people around them. They tolerate their dissatisfaction, however, thinking, if only I can achieve this next goal, I will be happy. For many years, I have acted as a consultant to various world leaders and to international celebrities. During this time, I was an advisor and a friend to the then world heavyweight champion, Muhammad Ali. We had a very interesting experience at his home in California. Early one morning, Ali looked at me and said, "Just look at my life. Here, it's not even 7:30, and my house is already full of people who have come mainly to harass me and demand something just to put pressure on me." He explained that many years ago, as an extremely poor boy growing up in the South, he lived a simple life, but dreamed about possessing great wealth and living in a palatial home. Making a sweeping gesture, Ali said, "Look at my house now. See how wonderful it is. Practically all of my furniture and decor have come from different parts of the world and is very high quality. I have so many servants and guards taking care of my house that I cannot even keep up with them. And there was a time when I used to think how nice it would be to have a wonderful car. Now I have a gorgeous Rolls Royce. It has all kinds of fancy equipment. And when I pass through the streets in my car, people say, "Ah, there goes Muhammad Ali." Reminiscing about the past, he remembered wanting to become famous so so he could have many women at his beck and call. Ali continued, "Now I can get on the phone and call a woman from any place in the world just for fun. But my friend, I remember how wonderful that simple life was when I didn't have all these things. Even though all my dreams have become a reality for me, I am miserable because I am now a slave to all of this. If I can only have some peace of mind and a simple life again." This kind of thinking is not uncommon among those who have attained fame, wealth, prestige, and power. It is evidenced by the many who constantly visit the psychiatrist because their lives are in such a chaos. Extreme examples of this situation are the cases of people whom, although they have everything, become so depressed about life that they commit suicide. Their everything is still not enough. This says something interesting, that while the poor are constantly struggling to acquire some of the possessions that the rich have, the rich are also struggling to get more or to hold on to what they already own. The wealthy are often bored by routine that accompany fame and material success and long for a simpler life. To them, life has become a treadmill upon which they trudge ever onward and upward in search for exclusive happiness. All right, thus ends the reading from the Leadership of a Higher Age of Consciousness. Hopefully, this was beneficial. Please take as many notes, and we will see you next week. Hare Krishna.